Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing, for the Israelites are scattered and wouldn't know who they are until the end of days. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And this is a response to the elder bro, Yashawamba out of the Dallas camp, and a video that I was watching is called, you can see the title at the bottom of the screen. For those who are not really paying attention, I always put the title of the video at the bottom of the screen so you can actually read it. But he went in and did a great lesson. I highly advise it. If you haven't subscribed, what's wrong with you? Subscribe and be edified. But go and watch this video. All right, but I'm going to respond to the statement, the loaded statement, because that's something he used, a tactic that Edom does. Now, I noticed that these wacky-tacky Christians and these bootleg 501c3 and 501c3 Israelite camps do the same thing. They use loaded statements. They use question evasion, all right? And then they use rhetoric, and I'm going to go into the definitions of those. All right. And as a matter of fact, let's go to loaded statement. Let me read the scripture first. Isaiah 29:15. Warn to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Because these wacky-tacky Christians know we have the truth. So instead of dealing with the issue, with the question, with the fact that the Israelites were scattered, and if you're scattered, how the hell do you know you are? All right. And the simple question of someone asking, show me, he's going to say something to the fact of, show me an example where the Lord or any of the disciples led with, what's your nationality? Well, the Israelites knew their nationality at that time. Their nationality hadn't been stripping completely away from them. All right, even though there was a certain Hellenization period where they couldn't call themselves, who they were, but you still had the ones who weren't in that land and were scattered up elsewhere nearby that knew who they were. So so all of Israel wasn't in the darkest of their nationality, who they were at the time that the disciples and the Lord was in the flesh walking the earth. So their question was. It was a loaded statement. All right, so let's go to loaded statements or questions. And here it says, let's go to the bottom at first. Examples of loaded language. Aggravate versus annoy. Agony versus discomfort. Atrocious versus bad. Bony versus slim, bureaucrat versus public servant, categorical versus specific, challenge versus distressing, damaging versus hurtful, and often both one and the same. Loaded statements or loaded language are words or phrases that are based towards a specific view or opinion, not the truth. They often have strong positive or negative connotations that are often used in advertising advertising and political rhetoric. There's that word rhetoric. Here are some examples of loaded statements. All right. I am firm. You are stubborn. He is pig-headed. This is an example of loaded language. All right. So now let's go to question evasion. Because I just watched the video before I was watching the elder brother Yashawamba, before I watched his video where they're going back and forth. Candace Owen called out Amalekites and called them, and said that they were they weren't the Jews, that they were, you know, she brought out, she mentioned Isaiah 5:20, and she also hit them with the Revelation 3:9. You know, I know you know that they're not Jews, and well, you know the scripture, all right. Matter of fact, let me just get it. She hit them with and basically they're doing the same thing, because in her back and forth, Revelation 3:9, behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, that say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet. She stopped short of that part. And to know that I have loved thee. Thee who? Us, the Israelites. So basically, she called them out and told them that they're not the Jews, and embarrassed them and shamed them. And then she hit them with Isaiah 5:20. I mentioned, I might as well read it. It says, and because, you know, and basically she was talking about the murder and genocide of the Palestinian children and people, you know, upward of 40,000+ unarmed people. But it says, woe to them that call evil good and good evil, and put darkness for light and light for darkness, and they put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. She hit them with that one. So, you know, so now they got all these other rabbis coming on trying to defend, you know, what's his name, the other rabbi, and they're dodging, they're talking around the talk point, and what they're focusing on is on the fact that during the conversation, she used an example as Hitler, and talking about nationalism. And she didn't uplift Hitler or anything like that. She was just saying how the nationalism isn't always a bad thing, but they like to bring it up, you know, and use Hitler. And, you know, she just gave an example. And, it, you know, but they just, that was the door that they needed to evade the Revelation 3:9. So now it becomes this big thing about Hitler. Nobody's talking about Hitler is he's persona non grata on the subject matter. No, let's talk about who are the Israelites and who are not. Let's talk about Isaiah 34:8. The Lord is coming back for the controversy of Zion, because the Israelites, according to prophecy, wake up in the last days. All right. And number two, according to prophecy, another people, which according to the Bible would be Esau, Edom, would be claiming their heritage. Candace called them out. All right. The same thing that Yashawamba did, you know, on this guy who makes this statement. All right. But let's read this this question dodging, this rhetorical technique involving the intentional avoidance of answering a question. All right. And that's a technique that they use. Now let's go to rhetorical meaning. Relating or concern with the art of rhetoric, repetition, and common rhetoric device, expressed in terms intended to persuade or impress. The rhetorical commitment of the government to give priority to primary education, of ask a question in order to produce an effect or make a statement rather than to elicit information. So all of a sudden, when Candace Owens, just like this Christian, asked this question, it took away, they were able to evade the question at hand. It had absolutely nothing to do with Hitler, but all of a sudden they made it to have everything to do with Hitler and anti-Semantics. This guy that I'm about to play his question, his statement, did the same damn thing. He played an Edomite card. And that's what the devil does. Devil means deceiver.
Where Christ or any of the apostles led with, what's your nationality?
Right.
No. Show me that in the Bible. Show me that.
Never was the message.
Show me where they did.
So you see that? Never was the message. And which is a complete and total lie. But that, what you just witnessed, all right, is the desperation of Edomite established Christianity. All right, that colonial plantation Christianity. Right? He's no different from those rabbis trying to avoid the topic of who are the Israelites and who's not, and keep bringing up Hitler because she mentioned Hitler. These guys are doing the same thing, using rhetoric and loaded questions. All right, loaded statements. Okay, so let me get some precepts to Isaiah 29 and 15. Also Isaiah 30 and 1. And it reads, woe to the rebellious children that saith, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. They're not going according to the gospel, to the fact that, you know, like the elder brother Yashawama brought up the fact that Ezekiel 37 is a prophecy of the Israelites waking up in the last days. Which means, guess what? They don't know their nationality. The circumstances are a little bit different from the time when the Lord was on the scene and the disciples was on the scene. All right? Because throughout all the captivities in the past, the Israelites still knew who they were. Okay? They still knew. It's different this time around. They hadn't been cut off from their heritage. All right? Now let's go to Deuteronomy 29. No, actually, I'm going to go to 2nd Ezra first. Because, see, these guys, they're trying to use their own way of thinking, fill their own bellies with their own, you know, their own righteousness. All right? Be not of the Lord, but of themselves. 2nd Ezra 14:34. And it reads, Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, you will be kept alive. After death, ye shall obtain mercy. But see, they're trying to bring their own understanding, their own righteousness. That's what these guys are trying to do. Right? Instead of using the scriptures to establish what they're saying, they try to come up some other way, and then trying to come against the gospel. And every time they do it, they fail miserably, but yet they continue to do it. This guy's got his head covered. All right? He's got a goatee. The guy with the hat on that was asking the question. And this other clown was sitting next to him, or I don't know if they was actually sitting next to each other. It was a double screen. It looks like it's not the clearest image, you know, at the top there, at the top of the screen there. But he was co-signing this guy's wickedness. All right? Though hand joining hand. All right? But let's go to Deuteronomy 29 and 19. And it reads, And it come to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he blessed himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. All right, so you know what? Let's get that in the, let me go to the NLT. Because see, it's all about, with these guys, it's about what they think and feel. They're on that, well, I think and I feel. No, man, that's not what it's all about here. Going by what you think and feel will get you destroyed, man. But this is Isaiah 29 and 19 in the NLT. And it reads, Those who hear the warnings of this curse should not congratulate themselves, thinking I am safe, even though I am following the desires of my own stubborn heart. That's what these guys are doing, because they are not going according to the scriptures, not going according to the actual, what's the word that is written in the story that is telling. All right, it says, this would lead to utter ruin. So this is going to lead to ruin, man. So, you know, time is running out. You know, time is running out for you Christians, you non-believers, you mockers, and you scoffers, you backbiters. Time is running out, man. And you join hand in hand unto Amalek and Esau. You're gonna die with Amalek and Esau. Call halal Yahweh Bashim al Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash Kwam Yasarala Shalom.